Well, those of you might notice something different. This is obviously not the Mediterranean. And I don't think there's a place in Spain that looks like this. But this is beautiful Wiscasset, Maine. And my brother, I told my brother I was going here. My brother laughed at me. My brother's lived in Maine all his life. I lived the first 21 years of my life in Maine. And we always went by a place on Route 1 called Red's Eats. That is a very famous lobster roll place. And of course, being native Mainers, we would never go to such a touristy spot. Well, anyway, I told my brother, I've got a little time to kill. I'm going to put Chrisalita in line, and we're going to get a Red's Eats lobster roll. So, Chrisalita's in line. There she is in the red pants up there. Anyway, so that's the plan. But boy, do I have a story for you guys. That's right, your old buddy Tim took it upon myself to get some sunglasses. See how if I can make them last a week before I lose them or break them. But anyway, yeah, when we were coming back from Spain, remember we left the boat in the capable hands of Runa over in Mallorca, and we let sail. We flew from Mallorca with Kristen and Jim to Madrid. We spent the night in Madrid. Then they went on their way and we went on our way. And they had to fly down to New York and then 2-hour layover and then New York up to Boston. We had a direct flight. And I was thinking, ha ha ha, we have a direct flight. You guys don't. Well, guess what? We got on the flight, and JetBlue it's a new thing for them to be going to Madrid. So you don't get on the jetway to go there. What you do is you end up going down on the tarmac, getting on a bus and riding to the other end of the airport where they keep all the cheap planes, and then they put you on a plane out there. So we did all that, and that was fine and dandy, and nothing was too odd about that. But then when they got the plane all filled up and ready to go, I guess they had a sensor that was bad, a fuel sensor, and they went to the ground crew pulled the sensor out. When they did, they lost a whole bunch of fuel. Fuel poured out and poured onto the tarmac. So we had to shut the APU down, the auxiliary power unit or the generator, and because they didn't want to fire, and we had to wait. And waited and waited. Anyway, they finally fixed it. Then they had to clean up the fuel, and then they had to give us fuel back again. And then by that time, apparently if they don't take off in 75 minutes, they have to take the food off the plane and get new food again. Never heard of that one before, but anyway, we had to wait another hour for that. So it was almost 5 hours sitting in the plane before we took off. So that was kind of a real ordeal. But anyway, we got into Boston last night. And my good friend Mark Foley and his girl were there waiting for us, and we had a wonderful night, and that was great. And so this morning we stayed at the Mariner House. You guys probably have seen, I made a couple videos about the Mariner House in Boston. If I feel bad telling everyone how great it is, because it's not for the public. It's only for people that are merchant mariners or active duty military. And it's been around for a couple hundred years, and it's awesome. Anyway, we stayed there, loved it. It was great. And now I don't know if we're gonna have time to wait in line because the clock is ticking and we have to get to our ferry. But figured I'd check in with you and let you see. I know that you guys are gonna say, "Oh, I want to see pictures of the lobster." Well, first of all, there's no guarantee that we're gonna get up there in time, and second of all, I'm not going to be able to edit this, but we are right on noisy Route 1. And if anybody's been up this way years ago, you remember there used to be a bunch of old schooners that were tied up over here that slowly just rotted away to nothing. They used to have the old bridge over here, and I remember my sister went to Bowdoin College, and I would hitchhike to Bowdoin from New Hampshire, where the prep school was that I went to. and spend the night with her, and then the next morning get up and get a ride to Bath with the people going to BIW, the Bath Iron Works, building all the military ships. Then I'd have to walk, and I'd get here, and I remember walking across this bridge, almost froze myself to death once. But anyway, it's a little story. You know, I don't know that Crysalida is moving ahead in the line, but I see the line growing behind her, which makes me feel like we're making progress. So that's all I've got from this side of the pond this time. You guys take care, be safe, and as always, I'll see you on the one.